Nothing is real. John Lennon said that in his very famous song, Strawberry Fields Forever. And it's a very powerful line, nothing is real. And I want to say that this statement, nothing is real, is the most truthful thing you can ever hear from anyone about the reality that surrounds you. We all believe that we live on planet Earth and we have a body and we have a family. We believe in space, we believe in time, we believe everything we see, we believe in matter. We believe that the chair we are sitting on is made of solid wood. We believe we are sick, we believe we age. We believe we have children. We believe everything that happens to us. We believe it. We never doubt our very own existence and the existence of the world that surrounds us. We never doubt it. It is the ground that we stand on, and we can't think otherwise. How can we think otherwise? This is all we see. This is all we can perceive. This is what we touch and smell. This is what we hear. This is what we feel. How can it be something else? How can I say that you are not real, that I am not real, that this recording never happened and this voice is not coming to your ears? You hear it. If you believe what I say, that nothing is real, you must be crazy. I think I'm a little bit crazy or a lot crazy because I happened to find out that nothing is real, and I found it in one particular moment in time where I dropped my identity and became consciousness itself. When I dropped my identity and became everything, I realized that my true self was empty, had no matter, no time, no space, never began, never it will end. And everything that is perceived by me, including my body and my thoughts, are not real, have no real connection to what is really happening. What is really happening around me is nothing. Nothing is happening or will ever happen. There is a great, still, void, empty, but yet full, that has no movement in it. All the movement that I experience is the movement of the passing phenomena or the passing shapes, like butterflies flying over a meadow. They just fly. They don't have identity. They just fly. This is how all the phenomena are flying over this vast meadow. To believe me is impossible. The only way you can believe me is by knowing yourself, is by connecting yourself to this great void, by realizing that you are that stillness, that emptiness, and through these eyes perceive everything around you as it really is, nothing. I'm saying these things because I know them. This is how I live. It doesn't mean I see the world as a great void, like a vortex, or something very psychedelic, like the shapes have no form and everything is liquid. No, I see the reality just as I saw it before the self-realization, before I knew myself. I see the same shapes. The difference is who sees these shapes. When what I was before saw the world, it saw it through an eyes of a person, of a woman, and it saw it with all the beliefs systems and all the history of that woman. And this seeing took the reality in front of my eyes and gave it different meanings according to what I believed. When the self doesn't exist anymore, you only see the reality as it is. And when you see the reality as it is, it's not different in the looks of it. It's different in the meaning of it. And when you see a tree, you don't see a tree. You do see a tree. You see the branches and the leaves, but you know that this is not a tree. This is the same consciousness. This is a very temporary form. It changes every millisecond, this form, like everything around us, changes all the time. And when it changes, it proves that nothing is permanent, nothing has life of its own. It's only the change that exists. Everything in the world changes every millisecond simultaneously, and everything is connected. Every change affects countless of changes of parameters, and every change leads to another set of changes. So there is a great big wheel that is turning so fast that actually it's standing still. When I see a tree, I don't see a tree. There is no seer who sees something outside himself. There's the form of the tree and the form of the identity of me, and they're both the same things. So in the same way I'm looking at the tree is looking at me. There is no difference between us, no difference between anything that surrounds me. And when I know exactly what is everything that surrounds me, I cannot divide it into different forms and say they have different meanings. All of them, including me, have the same essence. It's the same thing. It expresses itself in innumerable ways. Everything must express itself in its unique way. The wind has to blow. Sometimes it blows hard, sometimes it's a light breeze, but it always does what it's meant to do. Sometimes the wind causes damage. Sometimes it brings relief to someone who is very, very in need for some air, but the meanings change. The wind is one. It's the same as the person who needs the light breeze. It's the same as the person that the wind wrecked his house. It doesn't matter what the wind did and to whom it did it. They are the same. So if I say that nothing is real, I mean that nothing in the apparent reality, in what we perceive, has any realness in it. We all know, and scientists has proven it, that matter doesn't exist. They say that it almost completely doesn't exist. There is a small part which does exist. I say there is no matter in this world. Nothing is material. There is no matter. There is no celestial kingdom that we as souls come down to an earthly planet and do our work. And if we do it well, we go back and we are very pleased with ourselves. There is no difference. There is no division. between high and low, between celestial and earthly. It's the same. Everything that surrounds you is holy. Everything that surrounds you is that holiness, consciousness. So we have to respect everything and everyone that surrounds us. Fundamentally, we have to know that there is no division between us and the others, between us and the world. Comprehending that everything around us, including us, is a great big void that has no boundaries, that exists in a place there can be no description of, because that place, we cannot call it a place because it's not placed anywhere. The laws of nature doesn't apply to it. There is no time in this place, if we can call it a place. It's not a place. It has no time in it, no continuity. It's one stillness, no movement. And yet it expresses itself through us, through our eyes and our identification with ourselves. I will now explain why we do that, why this empty void that is us is doing. What we perceive with our eyes and our reality exists only as a metaphor, only as an idea. Everything that happens has no realness in it. Nothing really happens, nothing really changes. It's very hard to perceive, but it's true. There is only an illusion of things changing, of events happening, and we believe this. You have to identify with your expression in order to express it. If you would not identify with your figure, with your character, you could have not done anything to express it. So if your expression is an elderly woman, you express an elderly woman with all her hardship and all her knowledge and everything that happens to her. Everything you think when you think about an elderly woman is expressed through that character. But if that character would not have believed that she's an elderly woman, she would know that she's nothing or a vast void or everything, and she would be very peaceful. She wouldn't have expressed herself, and she wouldn't have acted in the way that expresses an elderly woman. And because this void, us, wants nothing, it only expresses himself. And the only way he can express himself is through different forms. These different forms has to believe that they are different from one another, they are not connected, that each one has an individual and a separate entity. Believing this identity is the core experience of human life, of human experience. It enables us to grow deep in our personality, to express it, to feel a range of feelings, to do things in order to change the circumstances, to fight or to laugh and to live. We only do that because we believe who we are. This is what happens. It's not a bad thing, but it's not the real thing. It's not what's really happening around us. Breaking from this pattern of identification means liberation from the heavy load of identification with the sorrow and misfortune of our characters, and from its joys and happiness, from all of it. When we know ourselves, who we are, we become very indifferent to the outer experience, but we are indifferent in a different way than a person would be indifferent. The indifference is not caring, It's just not believing the drama and acting from a calm, secure, loving place. And when you act from the knowing of who you are in the same reality, you act in a most compassionate way. You act usefully, you do things without the burden of the ego and the troubles you give yourself. You only see reality as it is. You know the real deal. You know that nothing happens, everything is okay, nothing will never happen to cause damage to anything or anyone. It's all a game. You can call it a game, you can call it a film, you can call it any way you want, but it's not real. To say that this world is not real is to go against everything and everyone and every belief we have on ourselves and the world. The education system will never teach children this truth. Religions all over the world say that truth, but they give conditions and they promise promises in order for you to get there. The truth is, there is no heaven or hell. There is only this reality that is not reality, and in it we must do the best we can, knowing it's not real. You can either believe that reality is matter, evolution has got us to the place that we are now, that space exists, that time exists. You can believe that, or you can believe that all is oneness and everything is connected. We are all connected, like I'm saying, but you don't know it. And so this belief becomes an obstacle in your way to knowing yourself. Knowing yourself is a total recognition of the state you are in, is the total awareness, is the total knowledge. There is nothing that can shake you out of this knowing. It is not a belief, it is not something you learn, it is not something you can learn from listening to me now. It's like we are standing on the shores of the ocean and I'm saying to you, I'm not here, I'm in a marvelous island, but I have no boat to take you with me. It's a marvelous island and you should go there, but I can't take you because I have no boat. If you want, believe me that this island exists, and build yourself a boat and go. You have to build yourself the boat. No one will. But believe me, this place that we are standing on is not real. This island is. And I hope you will believe me that what I'm saying is true, because it is. There is only one truth that exists in this world, and this is the truth. Nothing is real. You should see it with your own eyes. You should experience it with your whole total personality and mind, and then you can be free. You should know that your reality as projected through your eyes is not real. So you should look within yourself and ask yourself what is real, and do it your own way. Don't trust anyone else to show you the way. This is your path, not someone else's. You can't use anyone else's progress or knowledge. You have to understand it yourself. Remember, if you can, doubt the very core belief that you were born into, that this world is real. It's not.
Nothing old, nothing new, nothing ventured, nothing gained, nothing stillborn